In 1966, a small town in West Virginia was terrorized by something nobody could explain. A massive creature. Gray, humanoid, 10-foot wingspan, glowing red eyes. It chased cars down empty roads. It hovered over rooftops. Over 100 people reported seeing it in 13 months. Then the Silver Bridge collapsed. 46 people died, and the creature vanished. Nobody ever explained what it was. Now, 2026, scientists have gone back to the exact location of the original sightings with environmental DNA testing, the most advanced biological detection technology on Earth, the kind of technology that can detect a single individual of a species in a large body of water from a microscopic water sample. They tested the ponds, the creeks, the soil, the entire ecosystem of the place where it all started. And across the same period, a family in the Chicago suburbs is reporting something stalking their home. 161 documented sightings in the greater Chicago area. Reports coming in from Indiana. New encounters. New witnesses. Same description. Glowing red eyes. Massive wingspan. Something that shouldn't exist. Tonight we go all the way back to where it started, and we follow every thread forward to what's happening right now. November 15th, 1966. Point Pleasant, West Virginia. It's a remote stretch of land outside town, all concrete bunkers and dark woods. Their headlights sweep across something standing in the road. They would later describe it to police as approximately 7 feet tall, humanoid in shape, with massive folded wings and 2 large, circular, glowing red eyes set into its upper chest rather than a head. It did not run. It did not fly away. It chased them. At speeds they estimated at over 100 miles per hour, the creature pursued their car down the highway toward Point Pleasant. They drove straight to the police station and reported what they'd seen. The deputy who took their statement said they were clearly terrified. He drove back out to the TNT area that night. He saw nothing. But over the next 13 months, more than 100 people reported encounters with the same creature. Some saw it from their cars, some from their windows. Some reported it hovering over their homes. A German shepherd reportedly bolted into the woods near the TNT area and was never seen again. People reported interference on their televisions and radios when the creature was nearby. Strange phone calls. Voices that seemed to know things they shouldn't. The encounters bled into something that felt less like a wildlife sighting and more like something directed. A journalist named John Keel came to Point Pleasant and spent 13 months documenting everything. His field notes became the book The Mothman Prophecies, later adapted into a film starring Richard Gere. Keel's conclusion was not that the creature was a bird. It was not that it was a hoax. He believed Point Pleasant was experiencing something genuinely anomalous, a phenomenon that didn't fit any existing category. And then came December. The Silver Bridge connected Point Pleasant, West Virginia, to Gallipolis, Ohio, across the Ohio River. On the evening of December 15, 1967, it was carrying rush-hour traffic cars bumper to bumper in both directions. At 4:58 p.m., the bridge collapsed. In less than a minute, the entire structure fell into the freezing Ohio River. Vehicles plunged into the current. 46 people died. 2 bodies were never recovered. The official cause: a single corroded eye-bar link in the suspension chain, a manufacturing flaw that had been developing for 40 years and finally reached critical failure. One link. An entire bridge. 46 lives. In the aftermath, witnesses began coming forward to say they had seen the creature near the bridge in the days before the collapse. Some said they had seen it hovering directly over the bridge structure. After the disaster, the sightings stopped completely, As if something had been concluded, John Keel noted this pattern in his research. The Mothman didn't appear after the tragedy. It appeared before it, and it disappeared once the event occurred. The question he couldn't answer, and nobody has answered since, is whether the creature was a warning or a cause, or something else entirely. Here's what nobody puts together in the standard Mothman story. Point Pleasant, 1966 and 7, is not the only time a creature matching this description appeared before a major disaster. Chernobyl, April 1986. In the days and weeks before the nuclear reactor explosion that irradiated a continent, workers and residents in the area reported sightings of a large, dark humanoid figure with glowing red eyes near the power plant. Local records documented the sightings. The report stopped after the explosion. Minneapolis, Minnesota, summer of 2007. Witnesses in the area, near the I-35W bridge, reported seeing a large, winged humanoid figure in the weeks before the bridge collapsed on August 1, 2007, killing 13 people and injuring 145. The pattern researchers keep noting is not that Mothman causes disasters. The pattern is that the sightings cluster in specific locations in the weeks preceding specific catastrophic events, and then stop once the event occurs. 3 documented clusters. 3 disasters. The same description each time. If it's coincidence, it's a very specific kind of coincidence. And then Chicago changed the conversation entirely. Starting around 2017 and continuing to this day, the greater Chicago area has accumulated one of the most documented clusters of Mothman-type sightings in history. Researcher Lon Strickler of Phantoms and Monsters has documented over 161 individual sightings in the Chicago metropolitan area alone. O'Hare Airport employees, residents of the North Side, reports from the suburbs, reports from downtown. June 2025, a family in Des Plaines, Illinois, reported a creature repeatedly appearing near their home. Multiple family members, multiple sightings, the same description: large, winged, humanoid, red eyes. July 2025, a man in Chicago's uptown neighborhood reported seeing the creature launch from a condo rooftop at night, glowing eyes cutting through the dark. Indiana, late 2025, reports of a towering winged figure seen along foggy riverbanks and back roads at night, described as humanoid, with a wingspan far beyond anything in known wildlife. Research from 2025 to 26 documents that many Chicago witnesses reported not just visual encounters, but an overwhelming sense of dread, nightmares afterward, and a feeling of being watched that persisted for weeks. The Chicago sightings have no Silver Bridge equivalent yet. No single disaster has been directly linked to this cluster, which raises a question some researchers are now asking out loud. Is something building? And now 2026, the most scientific chapter of this story yet. University teams and citizen science groups have quietly applied environmental DNA testing, eDNA, to the ponds, creeks, and soil of the McClintock Wildlife Management Area, the exact geographical epicenter of the original 1,966 sightings. The TNT bunkers, the dark roads, the ponds where witnesses first saw those red eyes. eDNA technology is extraordinary. Every living creature sheds biological material constantly: skin cells, feathers, saliva, waste. It washes into the water table. Scientists can filter a single water sample, amplify the microscopic genetic material using a process called polymerase chain reaction, and sequence it against global wildlife databases. This technology has been used to rediscover species thought completely extinct. It can detect the presence of a single individual of a rare species in a large body of water from a microscopic sample. If something has been living in the McClintock area, something large, something biological, something that has been generating sightings for 60 years, its DNA would be in those ponds. The results? A completely normal ecosystem. White-tailed deer, raccoons, beavers, migratory birds, fish, amphibians. No unknown mammal sequences. No unknown bird sequences. No anomalous vertebrate DNA of any kind. The scientific verdict: if the Mothman is a biological creature living in the TNT area, it left no trace that modern technology can detect. The skeptic interpretation: it's always been misidentified wildlife. Sandhill cranes with their red crown patches reflecting car headlights, great horned owls with their massive silent wingspans, mass suggestibility after the initial news reports spread through town. And that explanation covers a lot. What it doesn't cover is Chernobyl. What it doesn't cover is the I-35 West Bridge. What it doesn't cover is 161 sightings in Chicago from unconnected witnesses who had never heard of each other. The eDNA tests tell us what the Mothman is not. They don't tell us what it is. November 15th, 1966. Two couples on a dark road outside Point Pleasant. 13 months of sightings. A bridge collapse. 46 dead. And then silence. Chernobyl, Minneapolis, Chicago. The same description. The same pattern. Different cities. Different decades. In 2026, scientists tested the DNA of the exact location where it all started. They found nothing unknown. And a family in the Chicago suburbs is still reporting something outside their windows. The DNA tests are the most rigorous scientific investigation ever applied to the Mothman question. They came back clean. But the sightings haven't stopped. Drop a comment. Do you think the Mothman is a real creature, a misidentification, or something that doesn't fit either category? And if it's a warning, what do you think it's warning Chicago about? Subscribe. The Black Knight satellite video is live. The James Dean Cursed Car episode is up. New videos every week on the stories that go deeper than the headlines. Something with glowing red eyes has been seen in the skies above Chicago for nearly a decade. The DNA says it isn't there. The witnesses say otherwise.